Hello and welcome to today's League of Legends Roundup, where I cover MSI Rumble Stage Day 3. We finished the first round robin, began our second half. In this video, I will be covering the games, giving you the notes, the key moments, saving you the time of watching a highlight video or the VOD yourself. And I'll go to the nearest minute of the really important events if you want to go back and watch the VOD yourself. I also break down attempted ganks, which team were more active during the laning phase to set themselves up for success, highlight an MVP, how each team was on the power play, and things of that nature. I also do other videos. Currently, I am previewing the LPL summer split, going through each team. I will be doing that for all four major regions, as well as CB LUL if my laptop can handle it. I changed my setup, so the mic should be a lot better because it's literally right in front of my face. It's mostly out of the screen, the video. This might be the new setup. We'll see. Comment down below if it sounds better. So, Evil Geniuses in T1 started this one off. EG could not continue the downward spiral of T1 in this game. Slow early game. First blood came at 9 minutes when T1 would go top. EG would then clean it up, getting a pick a minute later. And laning phase would end at 10 minutes, 1-1. T1 up 1.5k gold. During laning phase, Evil Geniuses did not attempt a play where T1 were 1 for 2 on their attempts. T1 take first Drake. Then at 12 minutes, there's a fight in bot side that goes 1-1. Zeus would solo kill Impact in top, and then a couple minutes later, EG would respond. They would go bot, and then 2 minutes later go mid. So EG firing back at T1. T1 then take a mountain. They get a kill in bot, and at 20 minutes, they're up only 2k gold. Kill scores 4-4. So really, this game's anybody's game. T1's up slightly. They have a GP, which is helping. Their gold, EG has a TF, so I guess it kind of washes itself out. However, at 22 minutes, T1 win a fight 3-0, which secures the Baron, a 6.5k gold lead, and they would roll from there. They take the Baron, EG take an Infernal opposite side of the Rift, and get punished for it. Inspired dying after taking the Infernal, preventing Infernal soul point. And then at 24 minutes, T1 end 3-0 and top. They finish off after winning that fight 3-0. Final score 12-4. Keria ends up being MVP. You'll be like, why Keria? I didn't even mention him. Well, when they won that fight for Baron 3-0, Keria had 2 key hooks in that fight, which allowed them to win. And that fight is what decided the game. I mean, that game was culminating to that team fight to put somebody ahead. And T1 ended up securing that and going on to victory. Game 2, G2 PSG. G2 had a really rough day today. They went 0-2. The undefeated streak's done. No bias here, but I was getting kind of tired of the insufferable nonsense. So now that that's done, this is good for G2 in a way. They can learn more about their weaknesses. That's not a meme. There is some truth to that. Being at the top, you are seldomly actually trying to improve and willing to try new things and to get better, because it's the classic case of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And losing a couple games is good in that way. So PSG beat G2, which is bad for EG, because now EG and PSG are going to be, going down to that 4th place match. I'm telling you, it's probably going to be a tiebreaker. I think a lot of people thought that, and I predicted it in my predictions as well. Game 2, slow. PSG taking Infernal, and first blood comes at 7 minutes, where there's a fight in top that goes 1-1. 3 minutes later, PSG go mid, so once again, we have a slow first 10 minutes. PSG take a Hex Tech, and at 14 minutes, laning phase ends. PSG 2-1, G2 up 1.5k gold. During laning phase, PSG were 0 for 1 on their attempts to make... G2 were 0 for 1 on their attempts to make a play. PSG 1 for 2. 17 minutes, G2 get a pick. They take a mountain. 4 minutes later, there's a skirmish in mid that goes 1-1, and now the game's 3-3. G2, 2.5k gold lead. So their gold lead hasn't really grown by that much between 14 and 21 minutes, only 1,000 more. 23 minutes, G2 take a mountain. PSG would punish them 4-0. Unified with a double. Bay had a clean engage in multiple fights in this game on the Lissandra. Bay ends up being MVP. Every team fight, Bay secured the CC, did what he had to do, set up the play, facilitated, and in my opinion, without Bay's timely alts and things of that nature, they probably do not get by G2. So they win that fight, unified with a double. That leads to a Baron, a slight gold lead, and at 27 minutes, they win a fight in bot 2-0, push to end. They end up 1-for-1 on the power play. By the way, T1 also 1-for-1 on the power play. Both teams ended the games on the Baron power play. Like I said, Bay ends up being MVP. PSG, a clean win. All the way down to the wire. It was close, but G2 ended up faltering. Game 3, RNG and Saigon Buffalo. Another close game on the scoreboard. However, gold was heavily in RNG's favor for a lot of this one. So Malzahar mid. So Saigon Buffalo continues to throw curveballs, and they struck out once again. So, didn't strike out. They threw a wild pitch. So at 3 minutes, RNG start this one off. We have a quick early game where RNG go mid at 3 minutes. Saigon Buffalo take an Infernal. Laning phase would end at 12 minutes with only that kill in Drake occurring. RNG up 3K despite only getting 1 kill. They're 1-for-1 on their attempts to make a play. Saigon Buffalo 0-for-1. RNG then take a Mountain. They get a 2v2 kill. 5 minutes later, Saigon Buffalo end up taking a Hextech Drake, winning a fight 4-1. Shogun with a double. That would slow down the the dragon stacking. At 20 minutes, Saigon Buffalo are up in kills, and RNG are up 3.5k gold. 23 minutes, Xiaohu solo kills Hasmid. Hasmid played an awful 2 games today, in my opinion. Hasmid, for a while there, looked to be their 3rd best player after the bot lane. Bean J and Froggy. Froggy had his moment on the Vigar in a game earlier this week, but other than that, Froggy kind of struggled in this tournament, and Hasmid had his struggles today. So, Xiaohu solo kills Hasmid. Saigon go bot lane. RNG respond by going bot lane a minute later. That gives them prio. Take the Hextech Drake. 28 minutes. 28 minutes. Bin ends up solo killing Hasmid. Bin ends up being MVP because the game was not... It was close, but it still was anyone's game. Saigon Buffalo had just won that big team fight for the Drake a few minutes earlier. So at 28 minutes, when Bin solo kills Hasmid, that allows them to set up for Baron. Bin was ahead by quite a bit on the Jax. So that gives them Baron a 5k lead. Leads to Hextech Soul Point. Saigon Buffalo would defend their base twice, forcing a reset at 30 minutes. At 34 minutes, RNG would get a kill mid, which allowed them to take Hextech Soul. And then at 35 minutes, they would end 5-1 in the jungle. Xiaohu and Gala with doubles. Final score 12-7. Another close game in the kill scores, but a game that it was pretty one-sided after mid-game. So, RNG, like I said, were 1-for-1 during laning phase. Saigon Buffalo 0-for-1. RNG do not end on the power play. They did not end on their first Baron, and instead of taking the second Baron, they just ended. So that's that for the end of the first round robin of this tournament, and now on to the rematches on board number 2. Okay, now with board number 2, T1 and PSG, another close game. However, kill score would not indicate how much of a gap T1 actually put up on PSG. 7 minutes, T1 dive top. That goes awry, 2-for-2. Faker with a double kill. PSG then get a 2v2 kill in bot pretty much simultaneously. PSG take a cloud because now they have prio in bot lane. 5 minutes later, T1 go top, and laning phase ends with T1 up 3k gold at 12 minutes. 3-3 in the kill score. T1 1-for-2 on their attempts to make a play. PSG 0-for-2. 14 minutes, RNG go bot. T1 get a pick a minute later. That leads to an Ocean, and at 20 minutes, the gold lead has now doubled for T1. They're up 6k gold, despite the kill score still being the same. So T1 just out-farming, outplaying PSG on the Rift, taking objectives, getting gold, getting camps, and pulling away. 22 minutes, PSG would take 21 minutes, PSG would win a fight 2-1 in mid. That gave them prio over the next Drake, which they would take. However, T1 would then punish them 5-2. Zeus and Owner with doubles. Zayas ends up being MVP. His GP, once again, was disgusting, dealing a ton of damage in these team fights today. Zayas is starting to really take on the role, like a lot of people did say he was the top laner in the world. I had him number 2 going into this behind Bin. But Zayas is certainly performing much better than Bin in this tournament. So Zayas and Owner get doubles. PSG then pushed T1 off of the Baron because T1 won this big fight. They started Baron. PSG pushed them off. 26 minutes, T1 would force the Baron. PSG punishing them 3-0 for doing so. Hanabi with a double. T1, 7.5k gold lead despite this. At this time, PSG were actually ahead in kills 12-10 despite being down so much in gold. Hanabi 4-3-6, Owner 3-2-6. So Hanabi and Owner, the two most most involved players when it came to KP. You have to keep in mind 7.5k gold lead. A lot of that is on GP and TF with their passives. PSG go to Hextech Soul Point. T1 would then take a Hextech themselves. So between 26 and 34 minutes, we have no kills. Both teams exchanging a Hextech Drake. 34 minutes, T1 end 3-0 in the jungle. They push to finish. Final score 14-12. T1 0 for 1 on the power play. A close game in kill score, but not a close game when it came to just pure mechanics and farming. T1 really closed this one out on PSG. After PSG beat G2, it was a big win for T1. They had to do this one. Beating EG and PSG were 2 wins T1 needed today. RNG versus G2. RNG really beat G2. This game was close for a long time. Gala ends up being MVP. 3 minutes, RNG would get a 2v2 kill to start this one out. There'd be a reset. G2 ends up taking the Infernal. They get a pick at 7 minutes. RNG go mid at 11 minutes, which leads to a mountain. At 12 minutes, there's an exchange of kills 1-1 in mid, and laning phase would end. The score after laning phase was 3-2 for RNG. RNG had a 1.5k gold lead. RNG were the only team to attempt to make a play 1-for-1. G2 were pretty passive in the early game in this one, which you have to kind of wonder why were they so passive. Were they holding back after what happened against PSG? They were, playing more passively, which, if you think about it, they were pretty aggressive. They're pretty aggressive throughout groups in the early Rumble stage that, I'd be a little concerned about this and want to look to see if, tomorrow this continues or if G2, just had one game where they were kind of holding back. 12 minutes, RNG go top. Caps with solo kill Xiaohu at 13 minutes, which then gets cleaned up. RNG take a cloud. 17 minutes, G2 go bot. RNG go top. And at 20 minutes, RNG end up going up 3k in gold, 6-4 on the kills department. So gold lead has doubled from 12 to 30 minutes. It's still not a big gold lead. It's anyone's game. 3k gold is, the difference in maybe itemization. There's a possibility RNG hasn't even reset to try and spend that gold. It's so small. 22 minutes, G2 actually would take a cloud. RNG getting a kill on the turn, which gave RNG prio. They then would get another kill, take the Baron, and a fight afterwards would go 2-2. Gala had all 3 kills for RNG in this exchange. Gala ends up being MVP. In the late game, his Xayah really carried RNG over G2. They gave them a 7k gold lead. They would then get 2 kills in mid at 26 minutes, and then end within the next minute 3-0 around the Nexus. Final score 15-6. RNG a clean win over G2. Like I said, G2 0-2 on the day. I mean, they're back in the thick of it, and RNG are now first place by themselves. Final game, EG and Saigon Buffalo, our biggest blowout of the day. EG really took it to Saigon Buffalo. We had a very active early game. First 15 minutes, it was hectic. Saigon Buffalo definitely disrespected EG, in my opinion, a lot in this game, which caused them to lose, especially disrespecting Vision. So at 5 minutes, EG would start this off by going mid. There would then be an exchange of kills in mid again a minute later. At 7 minutes, EG would get a 2v2 kill. At 9 minutes, we'd have our third exchange in the mid lane. EG winning that fight 3-2. Jojo Pune and Bean J with doubles. In the side lane, Shogun would solo kill Danny pretty much simultaneously. Saigon Buffalo take an Infernal. At 10 minutes, Saigon Buffalo go bot, EG go top, and for the next 5 minutes, that was pretty much what the teams wanted to do. So Saigon Buffalo said, we want bot, EG would take top. 13 minutes, Saigon Buffalo get a pick in the jungle. They then go bot lane again, EG go top lane, Saigon Buffalo go bot lane. This all happened in a matter of 3 or 4 minutes. It was a very hectic few minutes where EG continued to overextend in bot, and Saigon Buffalo would continue to overextend in top. And it just went back and forth, back and forth. At 15 minutes, EG would finally go bot lane to then end laning phase up 10-7 in kills. Saigon Buffalo 1k up in gold. Jojo Pune 5-2-1 on the Silas. During laning phase, EG very active, our second most active early game, I believe. EG 4 for 6 on their attempts to make a play. Saigon Buffalo 2 for 2. EG taking Ocean after being able to get that bot prio. 19 minutes, EG won a fight in bot 5-1, inspired with a triple. I wanted to make inspired MVP, but I felt like Vulcan probably played his best game of the tournament today on the Alistar. He did a really, really good job, which I'll get to right now. So at 20 minutes, EG are up 15-8. Vulcan 1-1-10. 11 out of 15 kill participation. He had the highest KP on the team. He was setting things up. He was roaming and making things happen, and that would continue throughout the entire game. At least it wasn't a Leona where he feeds his face off. EG then take a mountain, and then for the next 3 minutes, Saigon Buffalo would let this game get away from them. EG would get 3 picks in a row in the side lane in the jungle. Saigon Buffalo just disrespecting EG's prio and lane and vision in the Saigon jungle. So in the next 3 minutes, EG would get 3 picks, which led to Mountain Soul Point. 26 minutes, EG would then get 2 kills, take a Baron, up 6k gold. With the Baron, they would try and push down mid. It would go 1-1. They would then continue to push, which would go 2-2 before a reset. EG by this point are up 23-11 in kills. 9k gold. Vulcan is 1-2-16, so continuing to make things happen. EG then after the reset take Mountain Soul and then end at 32 minutes 5-0 in the base of Saigon Buffalo, inspired in Danny with doubles. EG are 0 for 1 on the power play. Saigon doesn't get one. Like I said, Vulcan ends up being MVP. This was a good, solid game out of EG. They needed to beat Saigon Buffalo both times, which was huge. We had a lot of Saigon Buffalo fans in the comments thinking that it wasn't going to happen, that Saigon Buffalo would win a couple games. And right now, Saigon Buffalo, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they'll win a game. It's almost, you're getting a little desperate when you're doing these weird picks. Like, you keep throwing curveballs and knuckleballs, and at first it's like, okay, that's interesting. You pulled out a Callista mid. That's interesting. And now you're doing it every game because you are reeling. You are struggling. And, I mean, I think they're all but out now. Maybe PSG's 2-4. I don't know. PSG might be 2-4 right now. So I guess Saigon Buffalo might have a slight chance. But, I don't know if going into Tuesday they'll have anything to play for at the rate they're playing. Comment down below if you have an opinion of your own on how these games went. How do you think tomorrow's going to go? What do you think G2 has to do to recover? Do you think G2 got lackadaisical, or do you think other teams caught up to them? Or T1 back? And so thank you for watching. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Like I said when this video started, I do LPL previews right now as well. I did Thunder Talk Gaming yesterday, LGD the day before, and I believe today is Ultra Prime. So stay tuned for that, and thank you for watching.